For all of you who may not know, I've actually been a long-time Arsenal fan. Arsenal fan. An Arsenal fan. I can't do it. I can't say it, bro. It's the most disrespectful thing any human being can be called in Arsenal. I can't. For the content, Leo. For the content. Just say it for the content. Just for the content. Ready, set. Ready, set, go. For all of you who may not know, I've been a long-time Arsenal fan. It has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that I'm a Barcelona fan and I hate Real Madrid and I want them to get knocked out, and the fact that they're playing Arsenal and that's why I'm supporting Arsenal. No. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. It's the fact that I love how they play football, the way they bottle leagues. Mikel Arteta was a great manager, and he's for sure better than Xavi. And yeah. So yeah, let's talk about it. Arsenal versus Real Madrid for the quarterfinals of the Champions League, where the first leg will be played at the Emirates and the second leg will be played at the Santiago Bernabeu. Basically meaning that Real Madrid have the upper hand right now, because going away to the Bernabeu and the Champions League night, we all know it's not the easiest thing. As Man City fans, as Chelsea fans, as PSG fans, they all know. But Barcelona fans don't know that, because last time we played them in the Champions League in the semifinals in 2011, we all know what happened there when we went to the Bernabeu. Slapped them home. But yeah. Arsenal, Champions League, we just know those two words just don't match up with each other, because Arsenal have never won it, right? But now they're going up against the champions, the current reigning champions, and the question is, can they do it? Can they defeat Real Madrid in the Champions League, in the quarterfinals? On top of that, we all know in recent years, Real Madrid, when it comes to the Champions Leagues, they minimum get to the semifinals. So it would be a complete embarrassment if they get knocked down in the quarterfinals, especially since they signed Kylian Mbappe, especially since they're the reigning champions. And everyone is counting out Arsenal right now. Everyone is saying that Real Madrid would easily swipe the floor with Arsenal. But honestly, I gotta say, for me, I think they can do it. So yeah, like I said, Real Madrid are 100% going into this game as the favorites. In general, the whole leg is the favorites because, like I said, the reigning champions, this is basically the competition. In recent years, we've seen that Real Madrid completely dominated the Champions League in general. And Arsenal in the recent years in the Champions League have not really shown much, because under Mikel Arteta, last year was the first time when, they got eliminated against this Bayern Munich side who, let's be honest, we're not near what the best Bayern Munich side at all. They lost the league to Leverkusen, and they were showing a lot of moments in that season, last season, where they just weren't great at all. But then when the cookies crumbled, when it came to crunch time, Arsenal bottled it and didn't do enough to beat that Bayern Munich side, who later lost to Real Madrid in their semifinals. But in general, going into this leg, in the first leg in the Emirates, I think it's no question about it that Arsenal have to do everything in their power to try and get a good result against Real Madrid at the Emirates. And I don't mean a good result that is, a little 1-0 win, or even a win in general. I'm talking about try and destroy them. Try and get as many goals as possible to go to the Santiago Bernabeu and play, just comfortably as you can. So what I mean by that is, not one, not two, minimum 3-goal advantage going away to the Bernabeu. Arsenal have to do everything in their power to go at least 3-0 advantage to the Bernabeu, because we've all seen in recent years in the Champions League, when it comes to playing at the Bernabeu and the second leg, Real Madrid just don't fumble it. We've seen it in, I think, the most evident one in recent years when in 2021, where they won the Champions League when Benzema went crazy, blah blah blah, against PSG in the round of 16. PSG going away to the Bernabeu were a very good side. They played very good football, but in the end, they fumbled it and they lost to a Real Madrid side who, it's a controversial foul, some controversial goals, but at the end, Real Madrid got through. Against Chelsea were, destroyed at the Stamford Bridge with multiple mistakes. I think they beat them 3-0. I think Madrid beat them 3-0 if it was. And then they went to the Bernabeu and Chelsea put up an amazing performance. I mean, an epic comeback of dreams. And then towards the end, they got scored on with a little Travella pass from, from Modric to Rodrigo, and boom, they got back in it, and then Real Madrid won. But again, they were dominated. And then against a Manchester City side, the spectacle of a match that we saw at the Etihad, the 4-3 win from Man City, but then going away to the Bernabeu. Again, City were the bit better team. They deserved to win. But then the last-ditch tackle from Mendy on the line that didn't give them the goal. City the goal to go up another, more of an advantage. And then again, Real Madrid towards the end, another spectacular moments where they got the win yet again. So we've seen it at the Bernabeu. It's basically like one of the most difficult tasks to do in a Champions League night, right? Unless you're Barcelona, of course. But so yeah, and Arsenal in recent years on this Mikel Arteta, as much as they've improved, as much as a team, they play way better football than they did years ago. When the cookies crumble, when it's crunch time, when they need to do it, we've seen that they completely fumble it in recent years in the league in general, where they come second place, and then in the Champions League last year, and cup matches in the FA Cup, we care about blah blah blah. When it comes to the most important matches, Arsenal have shown under Mikel Arteta that they find it very difficult. So now when they're going up against the champions of Europe, for anyone who actually follows me on my TikTok and my, in general watches my videos, I've been, hinting that Arsenal can for sure get through to the next round and defeat this Real Madrid side. And that has mostly to do with the fact that Real Madrid, leading up to this game, have not been great at all. We just seen that they recently lost to Valencia in a match where, as much as Real Madrid definitely had many moments to have won that game, when you go up against a relegation side and you give them those many opportunities, playing just not completely dominating them like Barcelona did, like we scored, I think 12 goals on them between two games. Like, you're Real Madrid and you can't do that against a relegation side and at home losing. Like, it shows, like, as a team, they're not great. And let's be honest, like that Real Madrid side that lost to Valencia, it's not like they, benched any players. They were playing a full squad. They were playing a good squad to try and win that match because they're fighting for the league with Barcelona, and they find it very difficult, and in the end, they lost. So my theory to this whole thing that Arsenal getting through is the fact that Arsenal play, are a very good side. When Real Madrid go up against a competent team with a competent manager, they find it very difficult and occasionally lose. We've seen it against Barcelona. We've seen it against AC Milan. We've seen it even against Atletico Madrid, how much they struggle. Even against Borussia Dortmund, how they struggled at the Bernabeu. I think Borussia Dortmund playing an excellent match and were completely better for them than in the first half. And then the second half, they just completely fumbled it, from, player mistakes where they basically gave goals to Madrid and, tactical problems from the manager himself, taking out players he probably shouldn't have taken out, blah, 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 a bunch of stuff. They lost to Lyon, they lost to Lille. Like, we've seen Real Madrid have very difficult moments. Athletic Club, that's another example. But Real Madrid, for sure, when they go up against a good team, with a good side, with a good idea, with a structure, with a game plan, they find it very difficult because Madrid's defensive line, they're all over the place. Their midfield, all over the place. Their attack, all over the place. Like, it just looks like Ancelotti just tells them, oh, go out, play football, guys. Go have fun. Like, no tactics, no cohesion at all. And when they go up against a side who do, they can find it very difficult. I don't think these Madrid fans can really disagree with me with that, because I think the only fans that can really disagree with that is, the ones that are just biased and, just love their club and can defend them with everything, in their heart. But in general, I don't think many Madrid fans can really tell me what good games Madrid have put up for a good 90 minutes to show, oh, wow, they're a strong team. They're the best team for sure. Against Man City, yeah, for sure. But Man City are nowhere near the level they once were. If Man City were the ones from last year or the 2 years ago, they would have destroyed this Madrid side when they played each other for the round of 16. But again, it's a City side that's completely, just fallen off a cliff. So Real Madrid have found it very difficult going against good teams who have, like I said, everything I just mentioned. So Arsenal are that. Arsenal are still play good football. They still have a good idea. Arteta has a way that he wants to play with his Arsenal side. They press very good. They have, they want to keep possession. They want to create a lot of chances, using their wingers like Martinelli, like what's his name, Saka. They're very good with set pieces, which Real Madrid struggle with. He has a way that he wants to play against many different sides, and Arteta has shown that he's a good tactical manager. Now, again, I think it's going to be more of a mental problem for this Arsenal side to try to beat Real Madrid rather than a tactical problem, because I think Arteta has an idea of how he would want to play against his Real Madrid side, but then mentally, can the players deal with it? When it really matters, like Madrid players have just shown it for way longer that they can handle the pressure than Arsenal fans. So that's the problem here. I think mentally it could damage these players for sure and affect their game, but at the same time, like, Come on, like when is this Arsenal side going to improve? When is this Arsenal side going to finally show? Okay, we learned from our past mistakes. This is our time now. This is our time to mentally show the world that we can do it. Not only with our game, but handle the pressure when it really matters. Because again, if they go 1-0 up or 2-0 up to the Bernabeu, bro, handling the Bernabeu, the fans there, how crazy they go in Champions League. Like, they're going to close the roof, for God's sakes. They're going to close the roof. It's going to be even louder. Can Arsenal really handle that? That's the question now. I think one of the main problems for Arsenal right now for sure has to be the fact that Gabriel Magalhaes is injured. He has 100% been one of Arsenal's, if not has been Arsenal's best defender this season. Even better than Saliba, some would say. And the fact that he's going to miss this game is honestly heartbreaking. Heartbreaking as a Arsenal fan. It's going to be heartbreaking because he's a great defender, and going up against, Mbappe, I think he would have done a very good job against Rodrigo and Vinicius, who is, compatriots in Brazil. He probably would have done a great job going up against them. But now we're going to have to see either Kiwior or I don't even know who else. I think Kiwior might start. I'm gonna show my predicted lineups in a little bit. But yeah, that's the biggest miss for them. Obviously, Real Madrid are going to be missing Ceballos. I think they're going to be missing Lunin. I think they're going to also be missing Tchouaméni because of accumulations of yellow cards. So when it comes to who's missing more important players, it's obviously, Arsenal. And I think a lot of the players are recently just coming back from injury too. So they're not even 100%, you could say. But at the same time, you can say that Real Madrid aren't 100% either because, the accumulation of minutes, accumulation of games, like they may be tired as well. But again, when it's crunch time, Real Madrid players always show up. So it's going to be very, very difficult and interesting to see how, for Arteta lines up, because again, even up top, like they're missing players. Like Havertz has been the striker most of the season. He's been scoring goals. I think he's been very good player under Mikel Arteta, but him missing now is going to be major. Like I've seen Mikel Merino playing up there. I'm like, okay. But yeah, let's quickly move on to what I think the lineups are going to be. So as you can see on the screen right now, this is the lineup that I have predicted that Arsenal are going to go with against Real Madrid at the Emirates. So Raya in goal, David Raya in goal. Obviously, he's their main goalkeeper. Timber, Saliba, Kiwior, and Lewis Skelly. So Lewis Skelly obviously popped up Arsenal recently, and he's been showing very good level. I think originally he's a midfielder, but he can fill in for that role, and he's actually been doing a decent job there. So, hopefully he does a decent job against Real Madrid. Kiwior, because I really don't know what other center backs they have. I'm pretty sure most of their players are already injured. Tomiyasu, Califiori, like everyone's injured, and Gabriel obviously being out. I think Kiwior is the only option they really have. Saliba, obviously Saliba, and Julian Timber. Now, Julian Timber for sure can fill in as a center back as well, and maybe even have Ben White there, who I think could make it for the game. But I've seen Timber defensively, and I think he's better defensively than Ben White on the right back especially. I think he can put up a decent job against Vinicius Jr., and he's quick too. So I think I would rather see Timber there and, trying to put as much pressure on Vinicius Jr. as he can. Thomas Partey, Odegaard, and Rice. I think this is pretty evident. I'm pretty sure everyone knows this is 100% what they will line up with. And up top, Martinelli, Trossard, and Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka, who recently just came back from injury. He's been getting minutes slowly, and I'm pretty sure for this game he has to play. Martinelli is also someone who recently came back and pretty decent under Mikel Arteta's side. So hopefully he puts in work. And Trossard, obviously the main ones that were being questioned is either Mikel Merino or Trossard. I think Trossard should start this game just because he's more of an attacker-minded kind of player who can try and attack the center backs of Real Madrid more than Mikel Merino can, honestly. So, this is the lineup I would go with for Arsenal. All right, now moving over to Real Madrid side, I think a lot of this is very predictable, to be honest. But for Real Madrid, I'm gonna predict that Thibaut Courtois. I'm pretty sure there's already been news that he's going to make it for this game. So I think Thibaut Courtois, I don't think they're gonna be trusting. I think I spelled his name wrong. Fuck me. But I don't think they're gonna 100% not trust that third goalkeeper who played against Valencia. Not that it had to do anything with him that they lost that match. But going into Champions League night with the third goalkeeper from their academy, just no way. Valverde, Asensio, Rudiger, and Fran Garcia. Midfield of Camavinga, Luka Modric, Bellingham, Rodrigo, Mbappe, and Vinicius Jr. up top. So Valverde, I think it's evident that he's going to have to play on the right because Lucas Vasquez is the biggest liability in world football. Like, you would not want him to play in the right back for any single team. And yeah, I don't think Ancelotti will make the mistake of going against a good side who know how to play, and play Lucas Vasquez there. So Valverde 100% has to play there. The left back situation, I'm a bit confused of who can really play there. I would have said Camavinga maybe there, but Chouameni is going to be out for this game, so it has to be Fran Garcia because I'm pretty sure Mendy is not going to make it either. I've been seeing some things lingering around that maybe Alaba could play there, but I don't think Alaba should play there. I think Bukayo Saka will handle him. So, but at the same time, I think he'll handle Fran Garcia as well. But Fran Garcia is more, has played more minutes there than Alaba has, and more, experience, quote unquote, this season than Alaba playing there. So, and he's a workhorse. Like, I gotta give, I don't rate Fran Garcia at all, but he is a workhorse. He works very hard. So I think he'll try to give 100% for this game. So I'm gonna go over that. But I wouldn't be surprised if Alaba plays there, or I don't even know, maybe a Camavinga there, and no, there's just no way. Camavinga has to play in the midfield because Dani Ceballos is not going to make it either, so he has to play there. Camavinga, Bellingham, and Luka Modric. Obviously, like I said, Chouameni is going to be out, so if Chouameni was available, Luka Modric, I don't think would be starting this game. But since I already have a sense of an idea of how Real Madrid are going to play this game, Luka Modric is going to be beneficial for the way they're going to play, and obviously the up top three, how they play. But in general, how I think this team, how Madrid I think are going to play is they're basically going to play the same way they play against Manchester City, where the whole team just, they set up in a 4-4-2, defending in a 4-4-2, and just get ready as much as they can for counterattacks, right? Like, literally just like 4-4-2, where they just played as a cohesion, defended as a cohesion. Like, that's why I said against Manchester City, that was Real Madrid's best game for sure. Like, they defended very well, and they were very good, they were very well structured in that match, where they absolutely gave Manchester City no options at all, like nothing to work with. And Real Madrid were like very threatening on the counterattack. Countless times hit City on the counterattack and could have scored more for sure in the first leg. But yeah, I think that's what they're really gonna do. Like, they're going to go back in they're gonna defend in a 4-4-2. Let me see if I can switch it up over here so I can show you guys more of what I mean by that. So yeah, it's not letting me, but literally go watch how Real Madrid defended against Manchester City in the first leg. That's literally what they're gonna do. Like, just have the whole midfield and defensive line drop back and not give them any options to work with, and just wait for that little mistake that Arsenal can make and immediately hit them on the counterattack. That's why for this game, Arsenal have to be pinpoint perfect, not make any stupid mistakes, not make any loose passes, nothing. They have to be pinpoint perfect to try and get a win in the Emirates, because they're going to find it very difficult. I already know, as much as I don't rate at all how Ancelotti has set up this Real Madrid side this whole season, I gotta give him kudos. Like, there's some games where he just steps up and the players step up, right? So I think he will make it very, very difficult for this Arsenal side to try and get any goals. So I think the only way really Arsenal can be very threatening is if Bukayo Saka has a game, and if they're clinical in set pieces. I think they're gonna have to try to get some goals from set pieces, from corner kicks, free kicks, whatever it may be. But I think the main guy who's gonna have to step up for this game is going to 100% be Bukayo Saka, because one of the things that we've seen under on with this Real Madrid side is when they'll go up against a player who's having a game, they'll find it very difficult. Barcelona have destroyed Real Madrid because of many players stepping up when they needed to step up, like Lamine Yamal, like Pedri, like Rafinha. These individuals step up when they need to step up and get the goals, get the win for the team. So Arsenal need these kind of players. They need that player to show up against Real Madrid at the Emirates. And I think Bukayo Saka is going to be the guy they're going to be looking at as that player, that difference maker to get the win for Arsenal. So if it's Fran Garcia on the left back, or even if it's Alaba, I think Saka should, smoothly trying to get through them. I think he should smoothly get through them. But at the same time, I think Real Madrid are going to be very defensive this game. I think they're going to be very passive and just wait for the counter attack, because we all know how Real Madrid are. They don't give a F if you have the ball. They don't care about that. They only care about how much, what little mistake you can make, and try to damage you as much as possible with those counterattacks, with obviously the fast players they have up top. So Arsenal have to be perfect. They have to be perfect this match. They cannot afford any little mistakes. And yeah, that's really the only way they can really win this game, because it's going to be difficult. Arsenal, this is going to be the biggest challenge you've probably had under Mikel Arteta in the Champions League for sure, in cup competitions for sure, because when it comes to the league, we already seen how difficult it is. But when it comes to these Champions League nights, this is the biggest test they've ever had on the Mikel Arteta. And we're going to see if they can handle it. Do I think they can handle it? Potentially. Do I think they will? we'll save that for the second leg video for sure. But yeah, my prediction for this first leg, I think Arsenal will win it. I don't think they'll fumble it at their own stadium in front of their fans. I think they will win it. Do I think it's going to be by a big margin? I'm going to say, fuck it. Fuck it. You know what? Fuck it. 2-0 Arsenal. 2-0 Arsenal. Arsenal will hold the clean sheet. They will hold the clean sheet. They will hold the clean sheet against a Real Madrid side who have Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Bellingham. No Gabriel. Yeah, they'll hold the clean sheet for sure. Who am I kidding, bro? You're doomed, Arsenal. You're doomed. Why Arsenal of all teams? Arsenal. Atletico, I hate you so much. All you had to do was beat them in penalties, you bums. Now I have to rely on PSG? On PSG? Fuck's sake, bro. I hate football, bro. But Barcelona's going to win the Champions League, so it doesn't matter. Yep, 2-0 Arsenal. 2-0 Arsenal. Yeah, for sure. For sure, Arsenal.